Welcome. It is day 80 of the 100-day project. About 4/5 of the way through this 100 days, if my math is correct. I think it is. I'm in the middle of several things. I'm editing two rather hefty songs that have a lot of vocal edits. One has over 60 vocals, another has over 70. I still have some singing to do on all the Spaceport Cantina stuff, so I've got all that going. However, I do have some upcoming bookings, July, August, September, through the end of the year. And what I like to do is create themes for a lot of those shows that are going to be interesting to me, so I feel kind of carried forward and like I'm doing something out of the ordinary. I need to come up with a theme for a July show, and nothing's really jumping out at me. I kind of have August and September where I want them, and I need that amount of time to execute the show, so I can't pull August or September's theme into July because I won't have enough time to set it up properly. So I thought it'd be interesting to go through part of what I do. Part of what I do is I come up with a list of show titles, things that I find interesting. I'm kind of a comic book movie nerd, history buff type of deal, so I like to bring those things to bear on thematic qualities for shows. So I'll show you a list of just stuff that I've come up with over the past, I think it's about 10 months. So looking at those, usually something will jump out at me like, I really want to do Ancient Mariner or Gravity Well. Right now nothing's really jumping out at me, so I'm uncertain as to whether to come up with something new that does sound cool, and I need to do that pretty quickly because I need to plan this show out, or to look at one of these existing titles and really flesh it out. But I want it to be something where I'm feeling pretty compelled to do it. I also want to balance out what I'm doing, because in shows past, and I've learned this, I won't say the hard way, but the hard way, I get a lot of things involved. I get projection and lights and backing tracks and triggering backing tracks and synthesizers to varying degrees, and by the end of the show, by the end of rehearsing for the show, I'm like, why did I do this? This is so much. So I want to kind of balance out and make sure that I'm going into a show with enough juice to, really put on a solid performance without killing myself. So typically what I'll do is I'll take some things I like and I'll work up just a simple graphic. I'll take a typeface that I feel lends itself to the show title or the theme, and I'll just live with it for a few days. So I'll show you a few of those. Alright, so like I said, for no good reason, none of those are really jumping out at me, but they might. I'm going to kind of have, I think I dealt with this in the last video, I'm going to have a cutoff point where I finally abandon the idea that I'm going to get some inspiration if I don't, and I will just call it and say, this is the show, let's get excited, let's throw our weight behind this. So once I have that, I try and keep it in the forefront of my mind as I build set lists, song lists, arrangements. I have a lot of backing tracks now. I'm going to weigh how much of that I really want to bring to bear on the live show, because that can be a lot of work, and a lot of things can go right, but a lot of things can go wrong too. So once I have it to that point, I can start coming up with just cool promotional material. I know for a lot of musicians that's not a lot of fun. For me, it's a lot of fun. I went to school for marketing and some other things, so I can kind of bring some of that in and promote and build kind of a cinematic look, like some of these. once I have that kind of put together, then the show has a theme. It has a thematic quality, and I do my best to execute that by myself. However, I am by myself, so I'm really starting to weigh how much work is involved there, especially since I just did a bunch of complaining about all the other projects I have. But I don't want to shortchange people who come to the shows. I like to really put my best foot forward so that you're seeing something that's worth coming to see. So anyway, that is where I'm at. I'm building one of the next shows. It's funny because I have August, September. I haven't really thought as much about October, but I have August and September pretty much lined out the way I want them. I really need to get this one show out of 2 shows in July put together. So that is where I'm at for day 80, on top of editing a power ballad and a big rock song and tons of vocals. But I'm having a good time. So thank you for checking this out. We'll see you for day 81 of the 100-Day Project. And until that time, farewell, friends.